the wild bangs of Borneo here. You know, the hazards of having naturally curly hair and being dumb enough to cut them too short. Hello, my lovable misfits. It's your mad mother of the internet. Yes, it's geek news. Yes, I'm doing an upload. No, it's not for the main channel. Oh, who is this woman? Check for the pod. There may be a problem. Who knows? In the ongoing attempt to solidify the fact that it's desperate for cash and out of original ideas, Disney is at it again to add to this extensive list of remakes with these releases. But we're not talking about big screen releases. We're talking about a remake release to Disney Plus. That's right. It's going to be a Disney Plus exclusive. They're remaking, or bantering about remaking, Robin Hood. I don't mean remaking the Errol Flynn classic or the movie where Kevin couldn't manage a British accent. Fuck you, Costner. Or the one that we laughed our asses off at, which is Men in Tights. Thank God they're not redoing that one. It's perfect as it is. No. They've gone back to 1973 and they're remaking this one. And they're calling it live action CGI. We know it's not live action. We know it's hyper-realistic. You people need to quit being in denial and calling it and what it is. It's CGI. It's hyper-realistic. And yeah, it's already in pre-production. You have Carlos Lopez Estrada, who directed Blind Spotting, and then you had Cary Granlund is also on the project. If you don't remember Granlund was also on the hyper-realistic remake of Lady and the Tramp. Remember Lady and the Tramp? Where they took out the Siamese song number and changed other things in the movie? Yeah, me either. So don't feel so bad. They are going to be Anthro. They are planning on making it a musical like the original. But there's a couple of things they're not sure of which have me a little nervous. Number one, they're not sure that the characters that you see here are going to be the same characters in the same titular roles for the CGI remake. That's right, they're thinking of replacing the foxes, the bears, the badgers, the snakes, and the lions. Got no clue why. They're also considering putting a lot of the titular characters walking around on two legs in tights. Because they don't want Anthro characters being sex symbols. You can't make this stuff up, people, and I'm not making this stuff up. Apparently, they are very afraid that there are going to be furries watching Disney Plus for the CGI remake of Robin Hood and busting a nut to Robin, Maid Marian, and Little John walking around without tights on. There's no point in even trying to remake it like the old one if you're not going to use the same animals, right? Right. They're also bantering about making it, more like the remake for Lady and the Tramp or more Lion King-esque. The problem with this is the problem that we had with the Lion King when they did the hyper-realistic remake. You don't have any expression when you're going hyper-realistic with animals. And animals on all fours when they're supposed to be anthro is defeating the purpose. Because they were most decidedly anthro in Robin Hood. Because they were all acting like people. Anthropomorphic. Perfect. But if you take that aspect of the movie out, that's a major aspect of the movie and people aren't going to receive it as warmly. Besides, you're going to have to find a way to make this hyper-realism a little more cartoony, especially for the expressions and the musical numbers. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm being a little too nostalgic, maybe I'm being a little too biased, but hyper-realism for me has its place, and it's just not here. Not with this one. Not for me, anyway. But this isn't the only live-action CGI remake. They're planning for Disney Plus. Let's get on to the other ones. Got my handy dandy tablets for this one because I didn't want to forget any. Furthermore, they're slating other live action and CGI remakes for Disney Plus, like The Sword in the Stone. Hasn't The Legend of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and Camelot been overdone? I mean, we've got so many remakes, retellings, and reimaginings of this story that it's just, oh my God, it's just really too prevalent at this point. And then you have to take into the consideration that there's a whole scene in the movie, a whole act in the movie, where they're doing a wizard's duel, where they're changing into different animals and objects in order to defeat one another. If they turn that into hyper-realistic CGI, that is going to be hell on the animators. Now, I'm not saying animators wouldn't be able to accomplish that, but such a manic and rapid morphing from one animal to another, from one animal to an object, from an object back to an animal, and so on and so forth, wow, that would be an epic feat of animation and editing. And it might be a little too much. But if they cut it out, what are they going to put in its place? There's a lot of questions. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. But can't we just leave it alone? You know, there were on Twitter a lot of things a few weeks back that, you know, people were bantering about a live action CGI remake of Lilo and Stitch and saying it's just a rumor. It's not a rumor. The release for Disney Plus hasn't been announced yet, but they are bantering around a remake live action CGI style for Lilo and Stitch. Because they didn't make enough money on the original, apparently. I don't get these cash grabs. I really don't get these cash grabs. I don't understand them at all. Because there's a couple of ways you can do Lilo and Stitch. You can keep Stitch true to form in the way he was in the movie and just make him CGI. And I know, I remember the, oh, so cute and fluffy part. But if you make him too fluffy, it's idiotic looking. If you don't make him fluffy enough, then people are going to go, where's the fluffy? Just leave it alone. Why do you, are you that desperate for cash, Disney? Because it sounds to me like you're very, very desperate for cash. You're going 1973 and then you're going Lilo and Stitch. I said this before and I'm saying it again. Not that Disney is ever going to watch any one of my videos. But you can have original content, Disney. You can have original content. Go to Central and South America. Go back to Asia. Go to Africa. There are 10 tons of folklores, myths, and legends that you can turn into short stories, animated features, and even montage for feature-length films. You don't need to keep doing these remakes for cash grabs. But I guess as long as you have people dumb enough to go to the movies to see a hyper-realistic movie that was better when it was originally released, you're going to keep doing it. Because as long as it's bringing in that bankroll, to hell with everybody else. And I know this was a short one. There was very little information, it being in the prelims. So yeah, you'll have to excuse me, but I will keep an eye out on it. So, once again, I'm reminding you of that subscription button, especially if it's bright red and the bell right next to it that is as fickle as a pregnant woman in a grocery store that hasn't eaten lunch and has ADD. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. There are several ways to support this channel. All of them are in the description below. If there are any stories that you want me to look into for geek news, or if there are any animes you would like me to watch and review, any comic books, anything like that, you can DM me on Twitter. You can reach me on Instagram also. And here is my geek blog, which I have short stories and all sorts of things on as well. Go ahead and give that a follow. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay informed, keep your sense of humor, and above all, stay geeky. Love you guys.